Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Tony Talks. Today, I have the honor and privilege to bring to you someone who's a really good friend of mine. He is a world-renowned doctor. He's also a international bestseller. He's a speaker. He is very sought after by and trusted advisor to a lot of the media organizations. As I said in the announcement, he covers the whole alphabet, right? ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, CNN, and all of those. So he is very sought after. He's also the founder of a company called Sprint Set. He is a holistic doctor as well, and I have the pleasure of considering him one of my good friends. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to Dr. Roger Sahoury. Let's bring Dr. Raj in. There he is, ready to go.
How's it going? I was trying to just share my stuff, but I'm having a hard time getting on my page to share
right.
From where we are. That's okay.
That's okay. I'll share it. And listen, and as a matter of fact, that's a great reminder to everybody that's watching this. Please share it, and as you go, keep sharing it, because there's going to be a lot of content that we're going to be speaking about today. As you know, this show is about our conversations with inspirational leaders, influencers, change makers, people that aren't just doing well in life and are doing good in the world. Dr. Roger Sahoury is one of those people that has a successful practice. And he's also, like I said, started a company called Sprint Set, but he's out there sharing his information, sharing his knowledge and wisdom with the world. And that's why I brought him on today to share with us, especially in this time of need, of crisis. Wanted to bring him on to share his wisdom with all of you. So without further ado, take it away.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for having me here. And, this is a crazy time right now, Tone, with what's going on with this coronavirus and this hysteria that's happening. And I got to tell you that for me, I'm more concerned with the repercussions of what happens after this virus, or what it's actually doing to people right now in the moment, right? With creating all this anxiety, creating a lot of fear, creating relationship challenges with inside of homes with spouses and families and children's, and people going back to what familiar may be to them. And that could be an addiction, whether it is alcohol, whether it is cigarette smoking, whether it is indulging in overeating in foods or grabbing the wrong foods and creating a toxic environment there. There's just a lot that's happening right now that's really frightening for humanity. And at the same exact time, we are being bombarded with a lot of EMF pollution that's coming our way as well, with all these 5G towers that are going on. And we see that our hospitals are just overwhelmed with what's happening. So this is a very trying time, Tony. It's a really trying time in this world.
Yeah, it really is. But one of the things that I posted yesterday that I really loved was from Mr. Rogers, and the post said that when he was young and he would see bad stuff on TV, because there's always been bad news, right? Not to where it is now. I remember growing up, news was in the morning. If you had to catch it between 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, and then again it started again at 5, and then at 7 and at 9. Yeah. Now we are a 24-hour news cycle of sensationalism, so people are getting this all the time. But Mr. Rogers said that when he was a child and he would hear about news or read it or it was on TV, or he would say, his mother would tell him, look for the helpers.
That's right.
Right. Look for the good, because, we can see, in devastation, we can see beauty in the humanity of people that are getting themselves onto the front lines. And I've got the chills as I'm saying that, that are there to help. So look for the beauty in that, the beauty in the tragedy. And it's difficult to see when you're in it. But that's what I encourage people to do. Let's not focus, and you're absolutely right with all of those things that you've said. And we got to look beyond that. We got to look for
whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. right? And
Absolutely.
it's going to expand,
Absolutely.
and it's going to consume who you are as an individual, right? So
Absolutely.
when most people are not like you and I, Tone, okay? They're not cut from that thread, or they haven't done the personal development and spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to pour into themselves. So those are the ones that I say, okay, it's time for more leaders to step up and to reach out to these individuals. The most important thing that I could be doing right now at this very moment, and this is a quote from Mr. Rogers, is being on this podcast with you right now, Tony.
Absolutely.
This is the most important thing right now. It's not what's happening out there. It's not even my children and my family right now. The most important thing I can be doing right now at this very moment is being present with you. And if people could just slow down to speed up and stop focusing on everything else, but be present with who they're with and with themselves. And many times you got to find that stillness that lives right here. And right now you have to face that when you are in quarantine, of who you have to truly look at in the mirror and ask yourself, is this who I love? And if it's not, what are you going to do to regain that? And that's by finding those moments of life that in those little incredible gifts that you have as an individual that are so special to you and to others. Like Tony is special to me because I met Tony about 20 plus years ago at a Tony Robbins event, and I had the honor to work on Tony. And, Tony didn't realize that he had some emotional stuff that was going on, right? And I did one of my emotional release techniques with Tony that I've been trained to do. And we were doing that work, and we were just unraveling and clearing up, like peeling the onion. And Tony, if it's okay to share,
Sure.
Tears just started coming down his face, and he's like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "They're just flowing down my face." But what happened is Tony was, from my interpretation, was cleaning out his being and connecting to source, and really beginning to love himself even more, right? We always say you learn how to fly. First, love yourself, but getting to understand who you are as an individual and what specific aspects of life could have affected you, like we've learned at A Date with Destiny, for example, right? And that was a technique to begin to unravel that and connect Tony to who he was. But I do this very frequently with, I've done it with thousands and thousands and thousands of people with the same response. And then with a big hug and saying, "Oh my God, thank you. I feel like a ton has been lifted off of my body." Because we know that emotional stressors will impact your health and your immune system. And what we're dealing with right now is an immune system challenge with this whole coronavirus. And if we keep living in that state of fear, and if we keep, facing everything and running, or if we, keep looking for somebody to rescue us, or if we keep looking to the potato chips or the fried foods or the easy foods, or if we allow ourselves to get beat down or yell at others, well, that right there is creating an environment where you're not in a thriving environment. You're in a surviving environment. It's like you're in that state as if you would see an animal in the wild, like a tiger or a lion, right in your face. That's that fight or flight response, that sympathetic overdrive, that panic response, where the whole body is tense. And trust me, your body isn't saying, "Oh, I got to digest the food that I just ate." It is saying, "I better run or fight in this very moment." Except right now, in the state where everybody's in the state of quarantine, a mass majority is in the state consistently. And when they're in that state consistently, then what's happening is their immune system is getting compromised, and then they become more susceptible.
That's right.
So we need to be in this moment in a state of power, in a state of love, in a state of grace, in a state of gratitude, not habitude, in a place where earlier today I led a prayer on Facebook, and I did a prayer. I'm a Christian man, but it wasn't just for the Christians. It was for all, right? It's for all religions, right? But I did a prayer for everybody, because it's about, if we could bring everybody together and unite and do that prayer together, we're stronger together right there, right? And this is why you and I are doing this together, Tony, right?
You're absolutely right. I think this is a very old saying, and I don't know where it came from, but I read it, I heard it or read it somewhere, and it's beautiful. It said, throughout history, the one thing that unites all people is a common enemy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we are today. The common enemy is this virus. The common enemy is this corona. The common enemy is the fear, right? So that's why, it's good that you're here. The shirt that I'm wearing, be a force for good. I think if everybody stood up and was that force for good, this is an opportunity right now for everyone to really shine their light and make a difference and an impact for everybody. And you're so right, because what we hold internally, when you did that cleanse for me, which I could probably use one of those every couple of weeks. It's really about letting go of things and finding your strength. And right now is an opportunity to find your strength, and this is here. This should be uniting us. And it is in many ways, where it's being, we're being united by a common enemy. And the common enemy right now is to everyone in the world. It doesn't really matter where you're from, where you came from. It doesn't matter, what your religious beliefs are, what your political beliefs are, what your sexual preference is, how old you are, how young you are, because regardless of what they're saying, this is impacting everybody. And as the saying goes, if you're not being infected, you're being affected. Anywhere, it doesn't matter, unless you're in the middle of the Amazon jungle somewhere. And even there, at some point, that could be a problem. So anyway, we're all in this together. And I'm grateful to have you on here to help us and lead us through some of those things, some of those strategies, and some of those tips to be able to help us through. Take this moment while I've got the mic to just remind everyone to please, and thank you all for joining, and to please share this out. Share this out with your family, share this with your friends, share this with your communities, your Facebook groups, and so on. Like I said, this is information that we need each and every day. And again, we're here united for the common good of all, and just sharing content. This isn't about sales. This isn't about trying to recruit anyone or do anything. This is really about adding value and sharing some wisdom and some light and some ideas to the world to help you improve your life. So by all means, please do share this video.
That's exactly it. And it's a great point, Tony, because, right now it's about, giving, right? And it should always be about giving, because I always say, you're not living unless you're giving, right? And it's important. And right now is the time where I believe is a time where you can mend relationships as well.
Absolutely.
I think it's important to do that. This is a time, you were just talking about that. This is where we all come together, right? Same common ground right now. This is where you forgive. This is where you reach out to people that you've had a trying time with in the past, and you mend those relationships and you make them better, because you realize, what's life worth? What's it worth? What's it worth to you? And it's priceless, right? And what's your health worth? Priceless, right? I always say, you don't invest in your sickness tomorrow. Invest in your health today, right?
All right. They say, people say, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to take care of my health. If you don't take care of your health, take the time to take care of your health now. You're going to be forced to take the time to recover, try to recover from your sickness.
That's right. I always say this, because people always say, they plan their health around their life, right? It's what they do. People plan their health around their life. And instead of planning your health around your life, hi, Betty, thank you for that, right? You got to begin to plan your life around your health.
Mm.
When you do that, that is the winning formula. The winning formula. And I can tell you that because I've seen it on tens and tens and tens of thousands of patients. Like we've seen 300,000 patient visits walk through our doors since I've been open, right? 300,000 patient visits. And I got to tell you, I've spoken with people of all walks of life. And I've spoken to the ones who are very old school in mentality. And I've spoken to the ones who are millennials. And I've spoken to people that after having a real meaningful conversation where they begin to understand what it is that they value the most and then beginning to reorganize and restructure that. And when they begin to live by principles of higher power first, I call it God, health second, because without my health, I can't be enough for my family, right? Or myself.
That's right.
And after family, then it's serving your mission, right? That's the order. See, I grew up in a household where old school wise was dad went to work. Like we came into this country, I didn't speak a word of English. So right now I could speak English, right? I didn't speak a word of English.
How old were you when you came?
Time of, English, right? I was a baby, but my parents didn't speak any English. So by the time I was 7 years old, I still didn't speak any English. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I did from school, but it was very broken. And, I used to get picked on by kids and so on because it was just, back then, it was just my parents only spoke, Arabic and that was it, really, right? They spoke Arabic, Hebrew, French, things like that. So
I get it. I came here when I was 6, so I get it.
We lived in an apartment in Cliffside Park, and my dad busted his butt every single day, construction guy, and he was like, I bust my butt, give my family the American dream, bust, all the time, hardworking, and he did what he could, right? Which was incredible. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom, for taking care of us. But it was what they did is work, family, God, health, so to say. Really, I mean, that really was the order. And I said, all right, well, we got to just shift this around a little bit, because I started living my life like that, and I started seeing that, wait, that was a challenge in life. I was just stressed out all the time. When I shifted that, and it became God first, which all came from a severe motorcycle accident that nearly took my life. We can get into that if you'd like. And then health became right there, right after that. Then from there, it was, okay, family and then mission. That's where life became a lot easier for me.
You just said something. I think it's a fascinating story that I'd love you to share with the listeners, because it's a story of how you came to be, so you are a chiropractic doctor, right? You're about, helping people with their structure, holistic chiropractic doctor, among other things. I know that you've expanded into other things as well, but I think it's a fascinating story, that motorcycle accident, what actually brought you to chiropractic, because initially you were in school to be an MD, were you not?
I can go through this. So I was studying to become a medical doctor. And as I was studying to become a medical doctor, first of all, the reason I wanted to become a medical doctor is because my dad used to take me to work with him when I was a kid doing construction until my hands would bleed, right? I'd come home, mom and dad my mom would be like flipping out on my dad and saying, what are you doing? He's bleeding. And she's like, are you trying to kill him? He goes, no, I'm teaching him that he can do more than what I do, and he doesn't need to be doing this for the rest of his life. I want him to be a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman. I want him to do something else. I don't want him to be doing this treacherous work. I brought him here, and I want him to be strong in his mind. I want him to be able to communicate with people and so on, So, okay, my dad taught me a lesson, and then I have doctors in my family. So, it was like, all right, let's do this. So I'm starting to become a doctor. And as I'm studying to become a doctor, me and my friends one day go out on our motorcycles. And I was a little bit of a bad boy when I was younger, right? So me and my friends went out on our motorcycles, and we're riding down this major highway. And my friends suddenly get off the exit, and I miss it. And I pull over onto the shoulder of the road, and I'm sitting on the shoulder of the road. And as I'm sitting on that shoulder of the road, I look over to my right, and I see my friend Mike. And Mike starts walking towards me. And as Mike starts walking towards me, I see his arms go up in the sky like this. His face changes of fright. And then whack, I get hit from behind from a car at about 35 miles an hour. And I get thrown off my motorcycle and my helmet comes off and I smash my head on the pavement. My whole head splits open. I herniate 6 discs in my spine and bulged 3. My whole skin was literally ripped off my body, fractured ribs, bruises, tore triangular fiber cartilage in my wrist. My knee was split open. I had to have surgery there. So I was in the hospital for some time. It was an emergency situation. And I was in there for some time. And then they did everything that they could, painkillers, muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatories, steroids, everything that they could do in a crisis situation, which is exactly where I needed to be in that moment. Okay. That's what medicine's great for, is crisis situation. Come out of there after weeks and I go see special surgeons, and the surgeons don't know where to begin with me. And these are supposed to be the best doctors in the country. And I go see these docs and I lose hope. And I come home and I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? And I go see my orthopedist and my neurologist, and what do? They just keep giving me more medications, right? And then they send me to pain management. And now I become this big drug factory, injections in my body, trying all these modalities that aren't working. And every single day I'm dropping down on my knees, literally face planting. Got post-traumatic stress disorder, vice-like migraines, all those disc issues, pain levels 0 to 10, but about 1,000. And I didn't want to live. I didn't want to live like this. And when you got your mom and dad weeping over you and peeling you up off the ground like a banana peel, it's not a place you want to be. So then what happens, Tony, is I go through this for some time, and then they want to put me on antidepressants. And they put me on antidepressants, and I start having these suicidal thoughts, and I'm looking for the light, but all I see is this darkness. And man, I was just praying for an answer. And by the grace of God, I got led to a corrective-based chiropractor who showed me that, hey, you're not going to push darkness out by adding more darkness. You've already done that. The only way you're going to do that is by adding more light, more love, more healing. And the way that we're going to do that is by removing these subluxations in your body that are causing stress on your nervous system. And as we begin to do that, we're going to start adding more God's light and love into that body, because the greatest healer in the world is not me. The greatest healer in the world lives inside of you, which is me, right? And within 3 months of hope, 3 months of being under care, which I was very skeptical, I had my first glimpse of hope. In 6 months, I had more. In a year, I regained most of my life back, probably at about a good 80% or so. At that point in time, I realized, Tony, that I didn't choose this profession. It chose me. And this was a gift given to me, which was the darkest moment of my life, which you wouldn't see it at that moment, but it became the biggest gift and blessing for me, so that I could be on mission and on fire to serve humanity the way that I'm showing up today. And, me being on all those TV, news and written up in Forbes and all that stuff. Look, that's all great, right? But that's just giving me the microphone. That's giving me being a voice for good, because half the stuff that we see on there, look, there's some good stuff on there, but half the stuff that we see on there is just negativity and fear-based. So I want to be the light in the darkness for people. And I believe that I was chosen to do that. So every single day I wake up with that being a mantra, for me, that I am the light in the darkness, right? So I show up that way every single, every single day. Oops, I just dropped something. All right. But
that's awesome, brother. Well, listen, that's the point of doing these shows, is I know that you're a light, and everybody that I've brought on here is a light. And it's about, and I encourage everybody to get on Facebook, get on YouTube, get on TikTok or Instagram or whatever your favorite source of social media is, and be the light for somebody. Get on your phone and call somebody you haven't spoken to for a while. Like Roger said, it's a good time to mend old wounds, right? To mend old relationships. So we can all be the light. As the saying goes, a candle loses nothing by lighting 1,000 other candles. It's still, the light's on. So be that light. And I asked you, and I prompted you for this story just so that people could understand that this isn't just you talking. You're not just another guy talking. You lived it. You've been through there. And sometimes we're guided through, bad things happen to us, and that's life happening for you. That was life happening to you at the time, so that you can come out the other side and go on and help other people. Because had that not happened to you, hundreds of thousands of people wouldn't be affected by your story, by your healing hands, by what you do. Right. So you had to go through that pain in order to come out the other side, who you are and who you're becoming. So I encourage everybody to look at life that way. And that's something I do all the time. I talk about, you're like the perfect guest right now, because the platform and the movement that I'm starting that I've started of Get Up and Grow, helping people grow through what they go through, is quite that, is highlighting people who have gone through, pain, and have gone through struggle, and have gone through things that, are in some cases unimaginable. They had, the thoughts of ending their life or not wanting to be here. But not only did they survive, they overcame and they thrived. Right. And that's what it's about. So I honor you, and that's why I wanted you to share that story, because there's other people out there right now that are suffering, whether they were in a car accident, a fall, a motorcycle accident, whether they're battling a disease, whether they're battling corona, whatever it is that they're battling. It's a battle that they're going to come out on the other side stronger with a different perspective.
That's right.
So that's why I wanted you to share that story. Thanks for sharing that. And let's give go on with this and give people some much needed information.
Well, let's
hold on a second. So let's just see. Kelly says, Doctor, you said something so powerful. We're looking for the light within the darkness. The light, be the light in the darkness. Absolutely. You can be, if you walk into a room, or if you're walk into a room and everything is dark, perhaps you're the light. And I want everybody to remember that. If you walk in and you don't see any light at all, remember this: you are the light. You are the light. You can be the light, because you walk into a room, you're either affected by the energy in the room or you're affecting the energy in the room. So be the light, Kelly, is what I would say. But Dr. Raj, if you want to chime in on that.
You absolutely are the light, right? All darkness is the absence of light. That's what it is. It's the absence of light. All sicknesses is the absence of what? Health. So that's why it's so important to be proactive in life and not live a reactive life. Not, oh, I should have done that, or, oh, this is happening, so now I have to do that. Like, Tony, you're proactive. Let me give an example. You're proactive, okay? Not using me as an example. I'm going to use you as an example. Right now in this world that's out there, everybody now is being reactive by starting podcasts and jumping on and doing all these things. Tony, you're on episode 54.
Well, never mind the other 1,000 videos that I've put on Facebook over the years.
It has to be 1,000, right?
Right.
I think that you did, after we were speaking, you did 946 episodes prior to this one. So this one is actually episode 1,000. So I made episode 1,000 with Tony Rodriguez. Okay. All right. So just so you know, I took that number. I'm 1,000 now. All right.
Awesome. You got it.
But what we're talking about is that you're being proactive. You've been proactive, being a light in people's darkness. And I got to commend you for that, man. So thank you for that. Thank you for being that light in the darkness for so many, and always standing up in your greatness, right? Because it's exactly what God has called you to do, and you're doing it.
Well, you know what? Much like you, and I'll say this, much like you is, the reason that I'm doing this is because I've been in that dark place. Yeah. I've had those negative thoughts. I've had a similar experience. I had a black tunnel white light on my 18th birthday. You know this because you're my doctor, right? You know this, and I'll just share the story really briefly. On my 18th birthday, I had a massive car accident. Went through the windshield. I still say that the F word saved my life, because just before we hit, I turned and I said, and I said the word, and I was ejected. My hips kept me in the car. So I went out the windshield and came back in, but my hips kept me in the car, and I lost a chunk of my forehead. I got 60 some odd stitches in my face, and I remember waking up in the hospital, not really waking up, but looking down at my body from about 20 feet up. And, my white shirt was red, my blue jeans were black, and the gauze around my face was all red. I was bleeding like crazy. And I said, who's going to tell my mom I'm dead? Right. I had that moment. And then I had the black tunnel, white light, my name being called, all of that. And life was flashing before my eyes, as they say it does. There just wasn't a whole lot to see. And it changed my life. It talk about life happening for me. I don't know what the trajectory of my life would have been, but I can tell you this, that for years I dreaded that accident, but it may have saved my life, because, and I know that this is not where this episode was supposed to go, but whatever, we'll put it out there. The reality is, I was a shy kid. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I grew up in a bit of an abusive household as well, so didn't have that quintessential happy childhood. And after that car accident, I decided, because I died, to me, that I died that day, and I have a new opportunity at life. So I decided shortly thereafter that if I was going to die tomorrow, I would live today. So if I ever wanted to do it, I did it. As long as finances allowed, because again, I still have some splinters. Let's just say that there was no silver spoon involved. Right. So, I didn't come from wealth, and so whenever I could do something, I did. I was afraid of heights. I started skydiving. I couldn't swim. I almost drowned a few times as a kid. I started scuba diving. So I kind of started living, right? So it changed the direction of my life. So just going back to say that I've been in dark places as well, and that's again why I feel compelled to share. That's why I feel compelled to help other people grow through what they go through. Right? Because I've learned over the years so many skills in 20 plus years in personal development with Tony Robbins and with so many other greats. I've learned this. I've got now a set of tools, right? And you've got a set of tools, and so many of us have sets of tools that. What's the point of having the tools if you don't use them, right? And I've decided that it's my social responsibility to share it with the world. If I can shed a little light, if I can help people grow through what they go through faster, turn decades into days, that's what I'm here to do. And it's beautiful, because that's what you're here to do, and that's what you're here doing. Yeah. So the accident really changed the course of my life, much like yours did yours, but I think it put us on the path that we needed to be. Didn't knock us off our path. It put us on our path. So anyway, took too long on that.
No, you didn't actually. It was incredible. Thank you for that. Something that you said that was profound to me was how you were afraid of heights and the water, which I got to tell you, mine too as well. Okay. Yeah. And
we got to go out sometime.
Oh man, in Lake George, man, like I almost drowned as a kid, and my uncle had to jump in and save me. I would have been dead, right? I mean, I was just like sinking. And heights was another one for me, and that's exactly why. Like, I mean, I've done the leap of faith, so to say, and many times. So just like you have. So yeah. It's profound to me. So we're definitely connected on many levels here. So Tony, let's get into this a bit, all right? Because I think this is important. So when we talk about what happened to me, chiropractically, most people may think that you go to a chiropractor for neck pain or back pain. Yes. But the truth is it's about connecting you to source, and it's connecting man to spirit is really what it does. See, when you were created with one organ in charge that sits right here in your head. It's called your brain. Your brain sends life, intelligence, wisdom, and the expression of life that runs right down your spinal cord. And then through the nerves, it sends life to every vital organ of your being. So the way that your heart beats, your lungs breathe, you digest food, the way that you fight off any infections, the way you fight off anything in life happens from the intelligence and wisdom that runs through you. Now just think about it. If you cut the nerve and it was running to your heart, what would happen to you? You would die, right? The opposite of death is life, right? The opposite of death is life. So what's flowing through those nerves is life. And at what percent do you want to see that life flowing through? 100%, right? Nobody wants to see 50, 60, 70. Now, what ends up happening is throughout time, throughout maybe habits that you do, right? could start as early as birth, from the birthing process. What do they do when a baby's being born? They're pulling on that baby's neck, right? As they pull on that baby's neck, if it's a vaginal birth or if it's a C-section, they're pulling a little bit harder. What tends to happen is the upper cervical region gets to become what we call subluxated, putting interference on that area. In a child, it'll lead to things like auricular infections, which you tend to see people getting tubes in their ears and things like that. Acid reflux is babies, allergies, asthma, ADD, ADHD, anxiety, Asperger's, even autism. And I'm just on the A's, right? Just on the A's. And then they end up growing up to becoming teenagers, young children, teenagers, young adults, and then us. And many people walking around, they think that the solution is always an outside-in solution. Let me take this pill, potion, or lotion, and that's going to be the answer. But that doesn't ever get to the cause of the problem. That masks a problem.
Right.
And we got to get to the root cause by removing these subluxations, right? So the way we do that is by specific adjustments. And there are many different techniques that are out there. And we do over 50 an hour. We do about 50 an hour practice, right? So there's many different techniques. And with these techniques, as you begin to remove that interference and allow more God's life, intelligence, and wisdom to flow through, that's where you start to see healing beginning to occur in people's bodies. I mean, we've seen the impossible become possible over and over and over again, right? We've seen people who've been in wheelchairs, actually referred by one of your friends and my great friends and sisters, Lisa, right? Referred into our office. This lady came into us. She was in a wheelchair and she hasn't been able to get out of a wheelchair. Nobody was able to figure out how they're going to be able to help her. They said that they didn't ever know if she'd ever be able to get out of that wheelchair. Came into our office, found where the challenges were. Visit 1, what happened? She was able to stand up on her feet. By visit 3 or 4, within a week, she was able to walk from one side of the room to the other, right? We see children who haven't been able to speak, right? And all of a sudden they're speaking. We see kids who come in who are vaccine damaged and have, had challenges. And all of a sudden now we start seeing them function better. We see people who think that they're running really healthy and well. And then we run an examination like a yoga instructor, for example. And then we check their spine and we see that there's interference going on in their body. See, when I look at their spine, I want to see specific measurements. I look at that, measure angles. I look at computerized testing, see exactly what's going on to assess them and a lot more. And then once we're able to figure out what's going on, we see where that interference is, start to remove the interference and allow the brain to start communicating better, right? With the organs and the body.
Oh, so you're like an electrician.
Yeah, man, just a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, that's what we're working with, to add more life, intelligence, and wisdom throughout that body. Because a lot of times the power is off, right? So that's a physical component that we got to focus on. Now, what can cause challenges today in what you're doing is the technology, right? You're on your cell phone. What are you doing? You're looking down at your cell phone. And as you begin to look down for prolonged periods of time, you're taking your curve, you're moving it in the wrong direction. You're putting tremendous stress on your spine, tremendous stress. And then you start causing degeneration, decay, osteoarthritic activity, things like that to start happening from within, right? Now, we do specific techniques to do correction of the spine, right? Which is what we do. And we also do tonal techniques as well, right? Which I know that you're familiar with some tonal techniques. Yeah. But we do it both. We do it all. And we'll also do things to help bring left and right brain back into a state of balance, doing our functional neurology, right? So we'll do that as well. And then we'll also focus on, hey, what do we need to focus on based on functional medicine? And we have our sprint set system for that. And we got different components within there for energizing weight loss system, for immune boosting, immune supporting system, and so on, right? Or detoxification and cleansing system. So it all depends on what the individual needs. Today, you're seeing people dealing with physical stress, chemical stress, and emotional stress, right? And they're caused by thoughts, right? Stinking thinking, right? What they think about, they bring about. Toxicity, what they're eating, drinking, breathing, touching, right? So thoughts, toxins, traumas, micro traumas, macro traumas, micro traumas, cell phones, the way that they sit, posture, so on, macro traumas, if they slip, fall, car accidents, so on, right? And then technology is the fourth T. And if you're on technology all day long, Well, like we're doing, well, you got to get up. You got to move your body. You got to stretch. You got to do those things, right? And
it's great. That's actually a great segue to the question that just came in. Dr. Roger, can you show us a few exercises to correct, or there are a few things that people can do at home? Because certainly there's a few of us in New Jersey, Betty being one of them, that can get to you and that can come to your office.
so,
And then obviously others that are out of state and out of the country can still see chiropractic aid as well. But what are a few things that they can do at home?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, you really kind of want it to be individualized based on the individual, right? And we want to customize it to the person. So I do at this time, I am doing remote consults, especially for ones who live throughout, right? And they could just, they could contact me through that 201-265-0555, right? That when you see my name, they can do that. That's one way to do it. But on top of that, Tony, you can do your Igasku exercises, which I know that you've already had somebody doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Do that as well. But there are other exercises that you can do. So one would just simply be like a chin back exercise where your eyes would be up, not down. Okay. So you'd look up with your eyes and you would tuck your chin straight back. Okay. As you do that, you hold it back there for approximately 5 seconds. And then you release it and you do it 10 times. Okay. So that'd be one thing that you do. All right. Another thing that you could simply do is just take your head and bring it back and hold it back. Okay. And you would do this for 10 seconds and you do that 10 times. Okay. A third one that you can do is take your arms out like this, like a letter T. And then you can just squeeze your shoulder blades back as if you had like a quarter in between them, and then bring it forward. And you could do that again and hold that there for 5 to 10 seconds and then relax it and do that 10 times. Those exercises that you could start doing. The other thing is we can get you a spinal hygiene kit that you can start doing at home as well. Those are things that we do for our patients, but based on exactly what they need, right? We're always, remeasuring and seeing exactly where they're at for their progression. Because we may, in the office, need to say, okay, we want to put you on a vibrational platform. We want to put some head weights on there because we may have done a biostructural corrective x-ray. And we saw that if you put some weight on there, it'll actually increase the curve of where we want to get it to, which is a 42-degree angle, which will also stop the osteoarthritic activity from happening and allow the brain to be able to communicate much better that way. Because your spine is your suit of armor. Right? Your spine is your suit of armor. The last thing you want to do is start seeing it degenerate and decay like termites eating away at wood. We don't want to see that happening. We want it to be nice and strong because that's why it's called the suit of armor. It stabilizes and it protects what? Your spinal cord, just like your skull protects your brain. That's why you were born with those two areas first, right? Your brain and your spinal cord. You start off with 2 cells that turn into trillions of cells. What created myself, created you, Tony, created everybody who's listening right now. And we've been given this temple to take great care of. And we can't take care of that. We can't take that for advantage. Say, hey, you know what? I have this body. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, I got a slight little twinge here. I got this. No, you got to be proactive. And the first system that you got to take a look at is your nervous system because it controls the way every other system of your body functions. Like your cardiovascular system is an off branch off of your nervous system. Your respiratory system is an off branch of your nervous system. Your digestive system is an off branch of your nervous system. You get it? So we got to make sure that our nervous system is running at its best. And that's why you got to begin to plan your life around your health and not your health around your life.
I love that. I'm going to be sharing that quote.
And if you don't have a good chiropractor, I will find you one because I teach chiropractors. I speak on the biggest platforms in the chiropractic profession. And I'm happy to get you a great chiropractor. This is not about the Dr. Roger, getting everybody Dr. Roger, okay? I see hundreds of people a week, and sometimes hundreds a day, okay? So when I see hundreds of people a day, well, I can't take care of the world, right? But I know many that are out there that can. If you're in New Jersey, please come to me, okay? If you're in another state, let me find somebody for you, okay? I'll do that. Now, if we're taking a look at the chemical component, I can handle people throughout the entire world, is what I can do because with our Sprint Set system, Number one, I have a team of coaches. Okay. So I have a team of professional coaches that have been trained by me. What happens is you would go through our system to help get rid of the cellular inflammation in the body, which is really important. And so that your cells can communicate properly with hormones, receptors, and do exactly what it needs to do to keep your body running really well. Okay. So important there. So we have a team that's able to handle that. We put people on specific eating regimens that over the last 20 years, from whether they were from myself or me working with other people and other people's programs, I've looked to see where there's been holes in different systems. And I've taken the best of everything and said, okay, this is it. And that's how Sprint Set came to life. Right. And God, the results that we see are just incredible. They're mind blowing, where we're seeing people coming off of insulin, people coming off blood pressure medications, people coming off of metformins, people coming off cholesterol medications, people's inflammation going away, people's livers healing up. I mean, people's autoimmunes improving. Like, we're just seeing incredible things. We're seeing metabolic syndrome completely get wiped away. We're seeing people's moods get elevated, people's energy levels skyrocketing, people's sleep, oh my God, just improving at such a level where we know sleep is so important for immune function, right? So it is such an immune supporting system. I haven't seen anything out there like it. And we also have an accelerated weight loss aspect of it as well. So where if somebody is looking to lose a lot of weight, we have women losing 25 to 35 pounds within the first 50 days. Next 21 days, they are understanding their preferred foods, their cautionary, their avoid foods. So they have a blueprint of who they are. They have a coach that's monitoring them every single day, not weekly, not monthly, daily, to make sure that if anything happens, that they're right there to support them. And if they fall off or they call it a cheat, we call it a choice, right? And we get them right back on track. This isn't about beating anybody up. It's about uplifting people in life, right? And it's not a yo-yo system like anything else that's out there. It is a sustainable system. And that's why I put all my time and energy in making sure that my name would be clean if I created this product to be out there for the world. And it is. And now we've licensed it out to 13 providers around the country. So we are national right now between New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Indiana, Vermont. We are in Iowa. We're in North Carolina. We are in Puerto Rico. I mean, I know I missed a few, but we're out there. Okay. And anybody who wants to know where our locations are, we can do that. But corporate handles anybody in the other states that aren't out there. And the reason I'm talking about this is not to promote my program. It's to empower people that there is a solution out there right now that can get them out from where they're stuck. If they're in that quicksand, they're in that mud, or if they've tried everything else out there and they feel like, oh, nothing's ever helped, I got to tell you, this will. And I've just seen it on somebody recently who was in the Tony world, as a matter of fact, okay? Who said, listen, I've tried everything. I tried it all. I've been through everything that's out there. And I said, okay. I said, let's get into this. And the first thing we had to do was establish to get her why, right? As we always talk about, right? Mm-hmm. And we were digging deep, and we unraveled that, okay? Then once we got our why strong enough, we assigned her the coach. We figured out exactly what nutritional products would be right to support her. We decided what exact eating regimen would be right for her. And then we started to have specific times where we eliminated certain foods. We had her eating within certain windows and so on through our Sprint Set specific protocols that we had. And she had a thyroid challenge going on for many years, and she's never been able to lose weight because why? She's got a thyroid challenge going on, right? And no other system has been able to deal with that. But because of the way our system is designed, she's lost nearly 50 pounds.
Wow.
50 pounds in 70 days. 50 safely as well, because we've been monitoring her and she's had doctor supervision, mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? And she's measuring. You know what gets measured gets adjusted.
Every day she's reporting to our team.
Yeah.
So we're measuring her energy, her weight, and her mood daily. And people say, "Oh, I have an eating disorder. I don't want to weigh myself daily." Well, we have protocols for that as well. Okay, so we have protocols for it all, because we've seen tens and tens of thousands of people on this. Right now, actually, we got national shows that are interested in bringing us on right now because of what's happening. And we have a few national show people that have been on it and are doing incredible. So a lot of great things are happening because of it, and it's really exciting for me. It's really exciting to see that happening, and it's really exciting to see what's happening for our patients that are coming right into the office as well under our chiropractic care, because it's making such a huge impact right now, because we know that if you have less stress on your body, like we said, physically, you got less tension, well, it's going to take stress off of your immune system, right? I'm not here saying, hey, it's immune. This is, getting adjusted is just all about immune boosting, because it's not just about that. It's about, let's just take stress off the body so that your immune system can have less stress on it and it can do what it needs to do better. Yes? Yeah. And I think that's a better way to put that, right?
Yeah,
and
just like the Egoscue, just like Brian from Egoscue was saying, chiropractic is important, but if you don't take care, you don't do the exercises, then you're just making your chiropractor's life more difficult, right? So it all kind of comes together. You've got to do those exercises. You've got to keep yourself healthy. You got to eat right. Chiropractic is important because it helps you keep aligned. And I know that, listen, what brought me back to chiropractic 2 years ago, whatever it was, when I started visiting you, is because there was pain and I had to get through that. So it's just great to be on a regular maintenance plan to make sure that you're aligned. And like you said, it's like having, whether you look at it as electricity and having a short in one of the wires, or if you look at it as plumbing, you have a kink in a hose, right? You're just not flowing the way you need to flow. So it's always so important to kind of stay aligned, stay connected, stay corrected, right? So that's important. So Betty has a question. She says, and this is a great question, actually. She saves me from having to ask it. What are the top 5 things or supplements that you can take right now to boost your immune system and to keep you just in the right thing? And I'm going to add one, regardless of whether you do 5 or you can add the other 4. Laughter. Laughter, they say, is the best medicine. It's so important. It helps you boost your immune system. And studies have been done on this. If you stay positive, right? No, I'm sorry. That's actually a bad thing to say, stay positive in the time that we want to be. In one side, you don't want to be positive with anything, right? You don't want to be positive if you get tested for something, but you want to stay lighthearted, even in the face of pain, in the face of difficulty. Watch something funny. Read a joke, hear a joke, watch Comedy Central, and stay light. Because being heavy, they say that, positivity isn't going to get you anywhere. Well, hell, neither is negativity. So I'd rather be positive. Matter of fact, negativity will drive things away from you. At the very least, it'll ruin relationships, right? At least if you're positive and you're happy, and if you're not feeling well, you know what? Smile. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown, And if you see somebody that doesn't have a smile, give them yours.
I agree 100%, Tony. It's one of our points in our sprint set immune supporting is laughter and smiling, right? And I'm sure you're probably seeing my banner up, but smiling is incredible, right? So you need to do that, right? Adjustments was another one, right? Vitamin C, which is important. So vitamin C is extremely important. Selenium is another one, extremely important. D3 with K2, very important. Very important. In ultrabiotic for your digestive tract, because we know it has to do with your immune system, right? It's your second brain. So really important. Which ones did I name so far, Tone?
So probiotic or ultrabiotic?
Ultrabiotic is a probiotic, right? But there's just different brands. But I can get into that. I could send people links as well. I'll give you links that you guys.
Maybe you can come in here, because we're approaching the top of the hour. So maybe you can come in here afterwards and just add it to the comments.
Yeah, I have a customized application that anybody can either just go shop at or take a customized assessment.
So what is it? I'll put it on here.
Yeah, I mean, I could put it right here, right now.
Yeah, you go ahead and type it in.
Right. And you could just take a customized assessment and know exactly what's right for you, or you can shop. And if it gives you an option where it's sprintset.com/SS Dr. Roger. I already put it in there. But what ends up happening is you'll go there, you can take your customized assessment. And when you take your customized assessment, it'll tell you exactly what's right for you. And that's one way to do it. The other one is you just go to shop now. And if you go to shop now and you go right from that link that I gave you, you'll get a discount on the nutrition bundle as well. And you can just order the immune boosting package. It's like right there. You just click immune boosting and it'll just give you 3 products that you could order. One of them's called
let's go back where you said laughter, which is free. That's awesome. Selenium, probiotic, ultrabiotic. What were the other ones?
Selenium. There's
vitamin D.
Yeah, vitamin A. And zinc is also great.
Zinc, and the other one was vitamin D with what?
I think I gave you like 7 right there.
But vitamin D with what?
I think I gave you like 7 right now.
All right, so I got selenium, probiotic, vitamin A, zinc, vitamin D, and I'm missing the other ones. I don't go as fast as you do. And let me have that link because they didn't post for whatever reason. So it's sprintset.com.
In the private chat. Oh, I should do it here.
Oh, you did in the private chat. Okay, no problem. I'll grab it out of there.
Okay, sorry about that.
Got it. No worries.
So it would be vitamin D3 with K2, a probiotic. There's a product called Sinead as well, which is probably what you would want. Okay.
How are you spelling that?
It's if you go right to my link right there and you go right to shop now, you'll be able to get it there. It's called Sinead, but it's part of their immune boosting package.
Okay.
Vitamin A, zinc, vitamin C. Those are all incredible.
All right. So I'll read up the list here real quick. I type pretty well, not real quick because I type slow.
And I can always circle back and answer anything that people want as well.
Yeah, and that's great. So Dr. Roger will come on here and just post your questions and on here, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching the replay, post your questions and remember to share this out to everyone because if this resonated with you and you enjoyed the message, by all means, and you found value in it, by all means, share it with your friends and family and tag some people and share it out into the world. And Tony, so any last words, because we're at the top of the hour already, 7 o'clock. I know you've got something coming up, as do I. I'm already going to be a few minutes late for it. Any last minute suggest? Oh, I'll give one that you tell me all the time. Phone up.
Yeah,
phone up.
Look up your phone.
Like I know it's not as convenient, not as comfortable, but it'll actually get you, keep you off your phone as much as that. So
yeah, hydrate. Listen, hydrate. Drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Okay, drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Really, really important. Okay, start eating foods that are nourishing. Lots of fruits, vegetables. If you eat meat, eat lean proteins. If you guys need a link to where to buy, if you're in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, I could give you guys links where you guys can just get fruit even just delivered right to your home. Eat good fats, good healthy fats, right? Nuts, what's loaded with selenium right now, Brazil nuts, right? Loaded with them. So that's a good way to get your selenium in as well from foods. Stay away from starchy foods. You want to stay away from that. Stay away from refined carbohydrates, white flours. Sugar is the enemy. Guys, also, if you have any challenges going on, stay away from the Tylenol, the Advil, the NSAIDs, unless you speak to your medical doctor and he says it's okay, because the coronavirus lives on that. It strives on that, just so you guys know as well. Eat good, healthy fats like avocados. It'll be really good for you. Stay away from the sodas and the juices and really, cut down on that alcohol and make sure to sleep. And you want to sleep in 1.5 hour interval cycles. So that they work in 90-minute cycles, sleep. So when you do that, try to get 7.5 hours of sleep, 9 hours of sleep. It's better than 8, okay? Just so you guys know. And it'll get you more into that REM sleep. And every hour that you sleep before 11 o'clock at night will make up for 2 hours after midnight, okay? So make sure you do that, all right? Try to get to sleep by 10 p.m. if you can. Really powerful to do that.
Awesome.
So if anybody wants a virtual consult with me, Tony, for anything that they just want one-on-one time with me, I am, I'm offering that. I can post the link on here, or you can do that later on, or they can just text message my 201-265-0555 and just say, just type in, ask Dr. Roger.
Awesome. Well, listen, again, I appreciate everything that you're doing in the world. I appreciate your coming on here and sharing your time with us, sharing your knowledge. I just put that phone number up there as well. I know you had it on your screen, but I put it up there. And yes, no Tylenol, and specifically no Advil is the big one that I've been hearing as well, especially with this virus. No Advil.
And guys, other great things that you can have as well as far as products, especially for your kids. Colloidal silver, really great for children. A great brand would be Argentinum 23. Okay, so that would be something that would be really powerful. Oil of oregano is also always really great for you. Elderberry is great. Garlic, make sure to eat a lot of garlic. Okay. These are the type of things that you could be doing. Tony, we can really dive into this kind of stuff a lot more in detail if you want to do another one of these and just go into the heart of all of those type of recommendations like we did on that other.
Yeah, we can definitely listen. I'd love to have you back again in 2-3 weeks or somewhere thereabouts, even if we do it. And it's not necessarily on a Tony Talks episode. We can do something that just something else. So listen, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for watching. Thank you for watching. Continue to share this and reach out for Dr. Roger. You can find him at, I think on Instagram, you're Above and Beyond a Holistic Care.
Yeah, and on Facebook I am as well. And you can even just friend request me. I'm going to be doing a prayer tomorrow at 9 a.m. if anybody wants to join me on my private, on my regular Facebook page for myself. All right. So God bless you all. I love you all. Thank you for having me, Tony.
I appreciate you. Don't get off just yet. I'll be right with you. So anyway, I appreciate all of you. Thank you all for coming. And remember, my friends, that life is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many. It's about getting up after every time you fall. You fall down 7 times and get up 8, and every single time you fall, you have the opportunity to get up and grow. Absolutely. And when you grow, you just grow. And when you fall, you learn. When you grow, when you get up, you grow. So everyone has the opportunity to get up and grow, my friends. And when you do, remember to help somebody else up on the way. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for episode, I'm not even sure anymore, 55 or 1001. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.